Well, hello everyone. How are you tonight? It's been a roller coaster of emotion because people like this, these slippery, sneaky people, there's always something hiding so that things are never quite what they seem. And Leanne and I both, Leanne's here, everyone. Welcome, Leanne.
I
We're thinkers. When I get, and if you followed me for a while, you know this. When something hits the docket, I will never be the first one with it. I take it, I look up all of the case law, I digest it, I think about it, then I go. So it was the same with this. Plus we just got back home, there was things to do. I didn't have time till this evening to really sit down, and I was looking at it and I'm going, "What? What?" And I'm thinking, I bet everybody's already asleep. So I take one more look at our chat, and there's Leanne. I was so happy. And I'm like, "Leanne, you wanna go live?"
I've just been live, but yeah.
I didn't even get to watch anybody's lives. I had stuff to do. I had people here and, just still getting back into we're back home now, really quick trip, and the trip was really loaded. So doing stuff all day long from morning till night and then squeezing in some sleep. And so, yeah, what's sleep? We haven't How long's it been since we got our subpoena, Leanne? Because we haven't really slept like normal people since then. I have
I
trouble
don't know,
sleeping.
it was like the 10th, wasn't it? 10th of July. We've been going at it. I got mine on the 18th, but well, I didn't even get it really, but I got told there was one on the 18th. But yeah, you lot got yours on the 10th. We've been working at it since then. It's like nearly 2 weeks. Yeah, it is 2 weeks. It's more than 2 weeks actually.
So, did you guys all get a chance to read this letter? And did you guys notice anything weird? So, we have, of course, everybody's names here in yellow, and these are those of us who did our filings pro se. We have one more that didn't get accepted because there was something not quite right. She's refiling. So hers will be up tomorrow. But this is the list of us. We all did this kind of together. Based on the third party's representations made in meet and confers, public statements, and or information provided in their moving papers. She never met and conferred with any of us.
No.
She tried to. Well, she had no way to contact me. I made sure of it because I
Well, she
know.
said she had no way to contact you actually in the letter.
Right. So I think it's pretty clear we didn't meet and confer, or she would have a way to reach out to me.
And
But
she
go ahead.
sorry, I'm just yeah, it's because I've just come up alive with CJ and Anito, where I literally showed my email chain where there was an appointment, there was a meet and confer planned, scheduled, and I had the link sent to me, but my daughter ended up in hospital, so I had to cancel it. And I said to her, "Look, I've only got these two questions. Can you just answer them, and I'll be happy?"
Mm-hmm.
And I never heard back from her. The next thing I heard was we're withdrawing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, and then you guys all you saw probably Ken's talking about it, that she had it scheduled, and then she canceled it when she found out that they would have her IP address on a Zoom call. Ashley canceled hers. Leanne canceled hers. Nobody from this group, and this letter is specifically just about us. This doesn't include anybody else. So she's telling everyone that she had meet and confers with us. to make it seem like, because the next line, look at the next line. There is no further information required from the subpoenas as to these specific third parties. And then we have another problematic thing at this time. Lots of problems in these few statements. She's telling all of you guys that she got information from us.
It wasn't said, but Lauren said she read her motion last night on a live, and she made a point of saying that she was trying to arrange with them to have a meeting confirmed for Monday. So I know she hasn't had one either.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clarify that, but yeah, you left it at she's trying
Oh,
to insinuate that she's had something from us and we're no longer necessary now, and that's not true.
that's not true at all. We gave her nothing. We never met with her. Nothing. We gave her nothing. And then the other thing I'd said, she also says at this time. So it sounds like this isn't saying, oh, you guys are done for good. When you say at this time, that leaves open that there could be something more in the future, and I don't like that either. So this whole thing is so misleading to me. I also have a problem with, then she goes into, she's still got to try to make this point, still got to try to make it look like, especially after just saying, making it sound like we've given her some information. Then she brings this whole smear campaign back up, and it's not even directed at us. This is about Kevin Fritz's letter to her, or to the court the other day, about what he said about this untraceable digital campaign and it defying common sense. Ezra, leave this in your motions to him. This has nothing to do with us. She's putting this in here to still make it seem that we're part of this ridiculous, non-existent smear campaign. That's what this little blue thing in here is about, and this paragraph right above it is she's still trying to make the world think that we're part of this. We gave her something, but we gave her enough, and so she's going to just be kind and let us off. These are not the people that you want to misrepresent in any way, because we are the first ones who are going to come and say, look, this is false. This is not what happened. We want to set this straight. You better believe we're going to write a letter to the judge. We are not finished. This is not finished, because like Ashley said today, for what she does, her business, if people have the slightest bit of an inkling that she's involved in something like this, do you know what that could do for her business? We can't have our reputation still being questioned, people still thinking that we were part of this, but that we cooperated somehow. And she extended her grace and let us out of it. So yes, it's not done, because this, I'm sorry, she blasted us. There was no evidence provided to the court at any time to say why we got this subpoena. She said, first of all, that we were on a list. And then when that got tossed, when that whole thing went out the window because Kevin Fitch filed something and said, no, Fritz, I keep saying Fitch. Kevin Fritz filed something and said, no, they're not on this list. And it finally got revealed. That, to me, I want that recognized. I want this woman to have to admit we were not on that list and that she has absolutely zero evidence to tie us to this. That's what I want. I know it's too much to hope for to get an apology, but we're not finished, because this little at this time, we need some more assurance than this. We need to be fully exonerated from this. And not only that, my response was due tomorrow. Not tomorrow, today's Saturday. My response was due on Monday because mine was filed several days before everybody else's. So I had a concern because how it began, the judge, I had 2 filings that didn't go through. He was not about to let me file anything without a name. I was not going to give my name. There was no way that was gonna happen. The case law he cited was absolute error. He gave stuff that was for parties.
Can I tell you something funny? Just quickly
Yeah,
while you're getting everything back up.
yeah. Let
I
me get everything back up.
I was doing my live stream with CJ and Anita, and we were going through everything, and I was getting angry, and when I get angry, I kind of start tripping over, like I get, stumbling, and I get like a bit of a stutter.
Mhm.
And I was trying to say smear campaign, and I accidentally said smear test.
Oh, no.
I did. I did. I was just messaging Lara Brown, and she's going, I just said smear test up live to 600 people. Oh
Oh, no.
God. I bet half of the people that are here heard it as well. Oh, thank you, Christina.
I had tried 2 times to file, and he would not have it, but I was not going to give him my name, so it took a while to get I had to get someone actually signed onto my company so that it because I personally was not subpoenaed. My YouTube channel was subpoenaed. So I had to add someone to my YouTube channel so that they could legitimately represent the channel because, I knew that it could be if they wanted to pursue it, they could say, well, who is this person? Is this person connected? So I made sure that I did all that and then I filed it again. But it wasn't filed. Then after I filed and then Ashley had filed and she had forgotten to put her information in the email that goes with it. And so that was still he still considered that as a anonymous because you have to have that information in your email. So when he accepted mine, at the bottom of that one, he wasn't talking about me. I think people got confused because they didn't know someone else had filed too. He mentioned about this filing anonymously. So I knew I was going to have to refile as a Jane Doe, but he had instructions in that, and that's what I'm trying to load, and I don't know why this isn't working. Let me try to reload it again because it's still just sitting here spinning. So I'm going to show what I was angry about with this too, because just the whole way he was trying to set it up, and I did address it in my letter. The case law that he cited was sealed plaintiff versus sealed defendant. Right here you can see. So this is his response at the bottom of where he accepted mine, and then he was actually speaking about Ashley's at this point. And he says the court will not entertain, and that just hearing it that put that way just chapped my hide. It's like I'm not even going to look at it. Will not entertain unless it's either de-anonymized or accompanied by a motion requesting leave to proceed anonymously in this court and explaining why the movement's interest in anonymity outweighs the public interest in disclosure and any prejudice to the opposing party. So here's what made me mad about that. Thank you, Just Ricardo. Go for the jugular and don't let it. We're not letting up. We're not done yet.
No.
This definitely was not good enough. Okay, so here's what made me mad. So we have sealed plaintiff versus sealed defendants. These are parties to the case.
Mm.
She also, did you notice another thing she said that made me mad? She referred to us as third parties. We're not
No,
even third
we're
parties.
not. We're not.
Google Google was the third party. We're non-parties. But she referred to us as third parties in her thing. We've been calling ourselves non-parties because we're non-parties. Google was the third party. So why do I have to meet a standard as if I'm a party? And then when he says, okay, so he tells me I have to file this motion. I'm getting ready to go to Ireland. Got to pack everything, get to the airport on time. And I was in the car on the way to the airport trying to type this up. It was and angry the whole time because I'm like, first of all, like I said, not a party. And then this really made me mad that I had to explain to the court why my interest in anonymity outweighs the public's interest in disclosure. As a non-party, why does the public have any interest in disclosure of my name? What does my name have to do with anything? That I have to, my reasons for wanting to be anonymous was going to have to be pled before the court, and it was going to have to outweigh the public's interest in disclosure. Tell me how my name had anything to do with determining stuff in this case. And then it also has to outweigh not just public interest, but any prejudice to the opposing party. Now, this is what I wanted to say to him, but I needed it to be nicer at this point. And I was, like I said, flying to the airport. Prejudice to the opposing party. I wanted to say, who is my opposing party if I'm not a party? Who is my opposing party? I'm not a party. I don't have an opposing party. In this case, I'm a non-party drug in by a third-party subpoena that should have never taken place. And so it just, I mean, do you guys see like how fuming angry, how enraging this is? That I have to not only give the court a reason, but it has to outweigh these two factors. And me not even being a party to the case. I was furious. So
Can we
what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, can we address the elephant in the room as well? Like,
Yeah.
we were filing these motions to keep our information private, you know. So, like, because I was staggered that I had to give a load of private information to file a motion to ask the judge
To
if
protect.
I could, yeah, to like keep myself anonymized or use a pseudonym. So do you know what I did? Yeah, well, you know what I did.
I know what you did. And
I
I
know I
almost
did.
did it,
Yeah,
but it takes too long
I
here.
took I took it. Well, I'll put it out on my own stream, but I will say it here again. I took quite a drastic measure. I was having a conversation with Lauren, and it was not even about this, but she kind of casually said, "Oh, I wish I could change my name." And I was like, "Well, hold on a minute. In the UK, we can do that in 5 minutes online by a deed poll." So I am legally Leanne Newton
Mhm.
until all this mess is sorted out, and then
Yeah.
I'm going back.
Yeah, my husband told me to do it.
Yeah.
I looked it up, but it takes too long because you have to put it in the newspaper for a certain
Oh,
amount of time. So
yeah.
so that
We
because if
don't have to
somebody,
do that here.
yeah, and so I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
So
no,
then
it was like 5 minutes online. Witness the couple of names of witnesses as well, who are going to sign the document. Done. Now that's good enough to change your passport.
yeah. No, I researched it, but we have to wait here for a couple weeks and put it in the paper in case it's because someone's hiding, trying to hide for some bad reason, So
Yeah,
you have to put it out, and so I didn't have time to do that, but that's what I was gonna do at first.
yeah,
So, but because and I said that in my motion. I said that. I said, you're demanding this stuff from me as if the subpoena has already gone through, and it hasn't. So it was just crazy to me. Thank you, Steph. I love how all you content creators are banding together. You all are incredible. We it, it they picked on the wrong people. They really did. Because we did. We banded together. We helped each other every step of the way. There was always someone available in the chat if someone was freaking out or having a bad moment. It
Oh yeah,
was
it's not been all about just the what how are we gonna file this, what are we gonna say, what's the law for Canada? It's been the emotional support and everything. It's been everything.
and so I knew that Monday was gonna be the day to for her to respond, and I was thinking she was still gonna keep going with this. I didn't know, like, over the weekend, she was gonna do this. So, on Friday I had finished the document on the way to the airport. Well, not on the way, sitting at the gate. I was literally finishing it when it was my time to board, and I got on the plane, and I still had some time, and I had my email written, I had the email address there, and I was about to push and, send, and I couldn't do it. I'm just like, "I can't do this," because what I had to do is I had to meet this ridiculous standard you see on the screen. I had to prove to the court that my anonymity outweighs it. And I'm gonna get emotional because 'cause I'm angry.
Mm. We're gonna fight
So,
it.
I was forced, and it felt like I was being violated, to tell a story to this court and these nasty people about why I need to be anonymous. That's my story to tell, who I wanna tell it to, and when I wanna tell it. But this man that people think I spoke to without enough respect violated my privacy. It was either that or have this subpoena come down on me. And I was leaving the country and I thought, I've got to have this getaway. I've not been sleeping, I've not been eating. It's been just so much turmoil. I had to get back in therapy again. I'm so angry. But I had to meet this standard to these sorts of people, and knowing that these people dox and put information out there like nothing, and this judge never says a word to them. He'll say this stuff to me. He'll stop us. He won't entertain my emotions, but these people can dox and dox and dox and just keep getting away with it. And so I had to submit my stuff knowing that this could happen to me. And I wasn't gonna do it and ruin my vacation because I knew that when I was gonna be there, I would just wanna keep looking at my phone and checking the docket and finding out, did it happen? Did it happen? And I wanted to relax and I wanted to enjoy, and so I couldn't send it. And so I sent it yesterday and it didn't get posted. So now I have to wait this whole weekend wondering, is it gonna get posted? Because I filed this motion for this request to proceed anonymously, and then I filed, a motion to seal, and to seal, the memorandum to explain why my anonymity is important. Whether or not he chooses to seal that, I don't know. Whether or not it just the whole thing smacks up onto the docket whenever they put it on there, I don't know. I guess we'll all find out together. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you force someone, it's violating. And the stress that's come ever since this subpoena dropped the reasons why I'm anonymous, knowing that that could be stripped from me because of Blake freaking Lively, has been hanging over our heads. And it's cruel. And it's unnecessary. And we shouldn't have had to do this. And so this crappy little letter that she put out today, it's not okay. It's not enough. But I needed it on there because in my mind, I had no idea she was gonna do this on a weekend, no less. In my mind, it needed to be there because I thought she's gonna come and she's gonna say, "This isn't even signed correctly. This isn't a legal document." And the judge was gonna just, "You're right," and grant it to her. And I couldn't let that happen. So I had no choice. Thank you, tea drinker. Hugs, Cassie. I'm so mad for you. Don't let them get away with this. Your strength is inspiring. I'm mad too, and I'm crying because I'm mad. But so I had to do it because that's what I saw happening. I saw her response coming and it just getting slapped down. And then, the judge had said he would give me some days to respond, but you can't trust these people. So all of this happened, and then we get this, her lying and telling people that we had a meet and confer that never happened, and then still bringing up this smear campaign that never happened, and if it did happen, we were never a part of it. It's insane, and then saying at this time, making it like it's still open for the future. No, this is not good enough. She filed this out of desperation because she knew her response was due to me on Monday. She knew she was going to have to come before the judge and say what? What was she going to say against our arguments? Our arguments were legally sound. We researched that so carefully. Thank you, Ricardo. Here's a hug. Wishing Legos. Absolutely. So many Legos every single night. But okay, so here's more that I take issues with. Miss Lively's subpoenas were one part of the discovery process aimed at gathering information to link the Wayfarer Party's activities to sources through YouTube and X content creators. Miss Lively's counsel, here goes a bold-faced lie. Miss Lively's counsel has met and conferred with various individuals whose account information is the subject of the subpoenas, including the third parties were not third parties who have filed motions to quash and, as set forth above, has determined to withdraw the subpoenas as to them. This is a specific group of people. She has met and conferred with the people who have attorneys. I know of 4 of them. None of those people have filed a motion to quash. We are the only people who have successfully filed them at this point. So this is a lie. There was no meeting and conferring. And still, by talking about this discovery process aimed at gathering information to link the Wayfarer parties to sources, what is she making it sound like? Am I the only one reading it this way? Leanne, do you read it this way?
No, entirely, yeah, because she's conflating two different scenarios. The people who have representation, who she can't say or given like infer, oh well, we got what we needed from, because the lawyers will not let that stand.
Mm-mm.
They're the ones that she's had the not they haven't. I'm not saying they've given anything. I have no idea because I wasn't at the meeting compare. I'm assuming they haven't, but no one to my knowledge has got anything to give. And but we the people who in this letter, and she specifically says that she met and conferred with us, and she did not. And it is so misleading. It's really disingenuous. And now I've got a bunch of pro-livelies coming at me going, after we just finished with you were on a list, now it's, well, you handed over something. And it's just rubbish. It's so wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the people that I know that, well, I don't know about Spill Sesh, but I know, and Andy as well. Their attorneys have met. But none of these, oh, clicked on the wrong thing. But none of these people are on this document, and none of them have filed motions to quash. So, like Leanne said, she's blending two different groups of people together and making it like we met and conferred, and she was able to link us to Wayfair. That's not what happened at all. So this is going to get set straight. We're not, just like how Kevin Fritz wrote a letter to the court and said, no, what she said is not correct. She better be ready, because so are we. We're not going to let her misrepresent what happened to this court. You all might be first to stand up to these bullies. I think that's what it is. I think they're not used to people like us. PR moved to do this on the weekend, less attention. Yep. And desperate to try to do it before Monday, before she had to respond to my motion. But so our next action, we're not really going to talk too much about it publicly yet. We're still strategizing. We're still working this out. We're still I'm still just processing this letter.
Yeah, same.
So I don't like to move quickly, because when you move quickly, you make errors. And this has to be right. So, and I've got to wait and see what happens with my documents with my filing on Monday. I've asked, so I filed the motion for leave to proceed anonymously. And then in the memorandum where I gave my reasons, I didn't feel like that needed to be out there open to the public. So in addition to that, I filed a motion to seal and a memorandum. The motion to seal is okay to be public, but the memorandum to the motion to seal and the memorandum to proceed anonymously, I asked for those to be sealed. I don't know that the court will honor that. I think it will probably be shared with all of the attorneys. I don't believe for a second that Blake and Ryan's attorneys don't let them see things they shouldn't when they have the attorney's eyes only designation. Because these people are sneaky snake liars. They lie to a court, they lie to the judge, they do scammy things. You can't trust people like this. I don't care what their profession is. A liar and a sneak and a cheat is a liar and a sneak and a cheat. Whether they're an attorney or whatever they may be. So, yeah, my information will be in the wrong hands and may be distributed to the entire world. Who knows? So I don't want to do anything until that happens, so I know how to proceed from there. But I have to respond to something real quick, Leanne, if you wanted to talk about something for a minute.
Oh, what if I talk about?
This on here. This idea of them being denied as moot, like what that means for everybody.
Oh, okay. So what that means is, and we've seen it with quite a few motions actually. So we've obviously filed the motion to quash. But the majority of us have also asked for a protective order and or sanctions. Blake Lively has now gone withdraw. So what she's looking for there is that, she's saying, well, you don't need to worry about yourself about the motion to quash anymore, Judge. There's nothing to see here. We've withdrawn it anyway, so there's no decisions for you to make. And if there's no decisions for the judge to make, then he doesn't actually have to read the motion to quash that we spent days writing.
Mhm.
Um,
Days and night 4
and
days, 4 nights.
yeah, yeah, that was and that was just like with the non-international ones as well.
Mhm.
When we had the American law all covered, then we were able to kind of duplicate that for everyone else. But obviously, I had to insert British law. Well, that's not a problem for me.
And then
But then
Canada.
I had to do the research for the Canadian law for Ashley, and you know, Lauren was doing Lauren's. She wanted it to be very much, kind of how she would talk. She didn't really want anything like she would be informal and grown up for Lauren, but she still wanted to be able to say it almost in a way that she would say it, using words that she would use.
Her own
So
personality, her own.
yeah, putting her personality in it, and it did as well. It was amazing.
Oh, it was
Um,
so good.
I genuinely am so proud of everyone. Everyone had input into it, and it really was a collaboration,
It was.
um, mentally and physically. And yeah, but now all that effort, they've rushed us. I think you're right. They didn't want to respond to you on Monday, but also I think there was because it's a Saturday, right? For them to be working on Saturday, um,
It's weird, right?
yeah, there's something is desperately going on here, and all I can think is, well, between all of the motions, I mean, we call out so much bullshit. We also put things in front of the judge that should have been there already before, one way or another, but they're not for whatever reason. But we've kind of gone, well, Judge, did you know Ari Emanuel did actually, fire Justin Baldoni because of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? And by the way, he was recorded saying it. Here's a link to the recording.
Mhm,
We've done stuff like that. That's not
mhm,
to help Wayfarer. We weren't asked. We weren't paid. We were just that pissed off.
mhm, and you don't know how much the judge knows about what's going on outside of these filings,
No,
and he needed to hear. So, I'm not sure the tone of this. We didn't have conversations with Ezra.
we didn't.
She
We're literally saying that.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We didn't. That robe don't mean ish. You're not exactly. That's why I said, because people were so shocked about the way I spoke to him. I was mad. I was mad. And you know what? I don't have to appear in his court. I don't have to get his favor. I don't have to kiss his ring. And that's what I was saying. I don't kiss rings and I don't tremble at robes. He's a he's a human being. He's not more important than me.
Yeah.
People get from me the respect they deserve. He got more respect than he deserved, actually, because we were put in this place because he was not presiding over his court correctly. The moment he heard about these subpoenas, knowing that they were not written correctly and they were overbroad, he should have stepped in and quashed them immediately, and he didn't. This all happened because this man is not presiding. Now, he'll shut Wayfarer up. He won't let them finish a sentence. But he lets Blake's team run wild. And I got put in this position because he doesn't have control over his suit that he's presiding over. I gave him more respect than he deserves. But yeah, and I want to talk about something else. I had actually recorded this episode, and I was editing it when I found out about this. Oh wait, there was another thing somebody where I thought I started. Where'd it go? A BS article, Blake fights back. If Cassidy mentions it, tell her the author. I know the author because you guys know I was in the Alex Murdoch community. This guy tried to shut down my YouTube channel. I was one strike away from losing it permanently because of this guy. I know exactly who this guy is, and I wish people wouldn't keep posting it. Someone even mentioned it in my comments. I'm like, "Stop promoting this man. This creep." I have an old video about him that talks about the accusations against him, and that's why he tried to take me down. I'm friends with people whose daughter or whose niece was one of his accusers, but he believes he I don't know if he believes it or not. Here's what he is. He's a lost old drunk who wants to be noticed. And so he takes the controversial side of matters so that instead of being one of many on the right side of things and he won't get noticed, he's on the wrong side so he gets noticed. So he started it off with Alex. He ended up writing a book. And then from there, he's chosen a few of the kind of bigger cases, and he goes to the opposing side so that he stands out. Currently, he's been buddy-buddy with a guy down in South Carolina, um, who drove his wife to suicide because he was allegedly doing things to underage girls. That whole case is going on, and he flocked to that. He has an obsession with Mandy Matney and Liz Farrell. Completely and utterly obsessed because he wants to be them. He's all of a sudden decided he's a journalist now because that's what he does. He just wakes up one day and becomes something. And now he probably saw my name because my name got mentioned in like Us Weekly and a few other places. And he hates me too, not as much as he hates Mandy, but whatever side Mandy's on, he's got to go to the opposite side. So this is what he's doing, I think, because he saw my name out there. Because I saw the art. Someone mentioned it to me on my Instagram, and so I looked at it, and it's because mine. Yeah, Jane knows. He's an idiot, and he's on probation right now because he stole $250,000 worth of COVID funds using stolen valor. He was never in the military, but he claimed to be to help him get these loans, and he didn't use them for what they were supposed to be for. And then everybody who thought they were going to get away with that during the middle of the pandemic, it wasn't looked into. But at the end of it, you better believe it was. The federal government's like, "Hey, wait a minute, what's going on here?" He almost got put in prison. He didn't get put in prison because he also had cancer, and he said he needed to be out for treatments. So he got put on probation. That's this man. So I wish people would stop promoting him. Yes, they are. I love them. They have a Hulu series coming up, and it's driving him insane. He can't handle it. But yeah, that's who this now I need Facebook. I don't have Facebook. But Jane's one of my longtime Murdoch people. They have a face. Yeah, he's well known in that community, and it's not in a good way. But yeah. So I assume I got a little too much attention for him, so now he's going to be in this community being a boil on a butt. Okay, but what this is about, so this is all happening. All of these documents are being, this is my, I keep my own filing system because I like things in order. I'm kind of weird like that, chronological order or numerical order. And as you know, Pacer is a mess. Things don't always line up in the order that they were filed or in the right number or whatever. I don't know what they do, but it looks crazy. So I make my own, and then I do hyperlinks to where when I want to look something up, I just click it and it'll take me right to that document. So this is mine, and then I use some color things. So my favorite color is right now, it changes often, but right now it's pink. So anything that has to do with us is in pink. And red is like red alert, red alert. So this is all happening, and all this pink is happening. And so our whole boil on a butt is real. Yes, it is. So our whole week, you could see with all this pink what was happening. So I missed all this red until it was all over and I started looking into it because I saw that another woman had been doxxed. This Cynthia Barnes Slater, is that what it was? Cynthia Barnes Slater.
Yeah.
So Kevin Fritz had brought it to the court's attention, and so I went to go look into it, and I found even more. And it's so upsetting as I go through. So here's the original file. Now this goes back to July 18th. It's document 430 438 was the motion, then we got the memorandum and the declaration. And then we get to this affidavit. Now I redacted this myself. And the first three I did that on purpose to show you that this is still sitting in the docket a week later, unredacted. Even though Kevin Fritz brought this to the court's attention, and we're going to get to all that in a moment, but as of earlier today, when I checked one more time because I was recording this and editing it, this woman's information is still doxed by Blake's team. These are the people, see, attorneys for Blake Lively. These are the people that wanted our private information. And I had someone just today say, why are you throwing such a fit on my YouTube? Why are you throwing such a fit if you've got nothing to hide? And it's because of this. If these were normal people, you shouldn't be scared of what you submit to a court of law. But because of these sorts of people who are going to receive these things, that's why we're scared. Not only that, it's just the point, it's the principle of it. It's wrong. But so here we go. Let's get through this.
Can I
So
just weigh in something
yeah,
there?
go ahead. Go ahead.
It's just I've heard a lot of that as well. Well, if you've got nothing to hide,
Mhm.
can I just, from my perspective, right? I don't like that at all. It's not that I've got nothing to hide. It's Blake's got everything to prove. But oh, let me have a look at your phone. No, I don't
Mhm.
want. No, why do you want to look at my phone? It's my phone. Why do you want to go through my phone? Well, if you've got nothing to hide, that's what my ex-husband used to say.
Mm.
That's enabling. And I don't like the people who kind of have made those kind of comments to us. It's not about us having something to hide. It's, especially for me in the UK where privacy is like huge.
Mhm.
Um, it's it's why should I give up my information to prove nothing? It is for Blake Lively in this situation to be making the case as to why she should get to look in the first place.
Right.
She had that whole stink in that interview about, where she was like mocking, that bloke who asked, well, what should people do if they want to speak to you? Or what do you want me to do? Give up all my information.
Location
That,
share.
you know, yeah, exactly. Like she was like, you said that so kind of in such a shitty way. We're like, well, what do you want? Do you want to know everything? Do you want me to give you everything? But here she is asking us for it. Not even asking us, actually. She's not even come to us. She's gone to people who are holding our data.
Right. And it doesn't just affect us.
No.
If we have a shared bank account with someone, which I
Yeah.
have two different people that I have bank accounts. Their names are on two different bank accounts. It involves not just me, but them. That's their privacy. That's not right.
No.
I have I have shared internet. I've shared YouTube channel. Because when you live in the same house with someone, you use each other's stuff like that. It's not just me. And it's like you said, it's hand over your phone then if you're fine with all this. And what I said too is it's the precedent that this sets. If this goes through, that means that anybody who sees you on the internet, and what was funny, and the person who said it to me themselves didn't have a picture, didn't use their name. So they're operating the same way I am. So I'm like, what if somebody someday doesn't like what you said on here and they subpoena you? It If we fight this and stop this, that protects even all the idiots out there that are rejoicing over seeing us go through this and hoping that we get unmasked. They're not realizing that if that happens, that puts them at risk too. And us fighting this helps them keep their privacy. It's so ridiculous. Exactly. I said, because I don't live in Nazi Germany or in the former Soviet Union. So, but here we go. We get to this document. You see, I've got that pink there because her email was there. You can find a lot of information about someone just by their email. That's why I never sent an email to them, because I didn't want them to have my email. So then you get to Exhibit A and they do good. It's filed under seal, doesn't exist. But Exhibit B, bam, I redacted all of this. So what is all of this? This is her address. Let me find it because I got all this written down. It's her address because these people who are trying to serve her, they're like lying in wait outside of her apartment. They don't see her. They keep going day after day. They don't see her. So they go and they start talking to her neighbors. So all these little dots you see, this is the neighbor's name, description, height, weight, age, eye color, and this woman's phone number. Now this isn't the one that was discovered. This isn't Cynthia Barnes Slater. This is Dervla McNeese. And so far, nobody has caught that this poor woman was doxed even worse. Her phone number. And this is obviously, because if we go to the next page, they're still trying to find her. They meet a woman, and they tell us that woman's name, and they tell us that woman's apartment number. And then they meet another man, and they tell us that man's name and that man's apartment number. Obviously, these apartments are not some high security place like where Blake lives, with the doorman and security, and you can't get past, because they're able to walk up to these doors and knock on whoever's door and ask whoever they want to ask. Do these people know? I bet these people who were so kind as to answer their questions have no idea that they're even in here. In these documents that the entire world is watching is their name. That one poor person's whole description is there. So these are 3 women who've just been doxxed, and a man, and then a third man is mentioned here as well. All in this past week, when all this was happening with our motions, this many people, 5 people, get doxxed. It's incredible to me that this is happening. The first year of law school, when you're learning process and you're learning legal writings, you learn redacting, because it's so important. Because once it's out there, there's no putting it back in the box. They can come through. Now, the other girl, it was discovered, and so that exhibit was redacted and reposted, but the old one was never taken away. And it's too late. These have sat here for a week. And then you got to clear it not only from here, but what's the free whenever most people use, the court listener? You got to clear it off of that. But people who download this stuff, they've already downloaded it. There's no fixing this once it happens. And here it is. 5 people in the week that we're fighting to protect our privacy and our information that's being asked by these same people. So don't ever ask me again why it's such a big deal if I've got nothing to hide. I don't want to be the next person on here with my name and address and phone number on here with psychos out there. And a lot of you, if you followed me for a while, you know that there's some crazy lady on Reddit that's obsessed with both Leanne and I. Kat Ortega, I've talked about her before and showed you guys. Her
Yeah.
asking where she thought I was an attorney and asking where I practice. I don't give that kind of information about myself. I don't answer questions, yes or no. I don't do that.
But she
And
started again, didn't she, as well? Because of all of this, she is now currently
yeah,
running rampant on Reddit again about us.
again, I know because I had people sending me screenshots. And you know why? Because in my memorandum for my motion to proceed anonymously, guess who's gonna feature there?
Yep.
These psychopaths on Reddit trying to find me before the subpoena even happened. There was a whole post put up about me. There was all kinds of racist stuff. People started assuming I was Chinese because of the name on there, and all kinds, and saying that they don't understand the Chinese language. It's a real name. It's a real person. But Ni, N-I, that's the English phonetic spelling. It's not the character. The characters will distinguish what the phonetic spelling cannot distinguish. And so they're making stuff up of what they think that means, because Ni can mean you, but it's not even the correct Ni. And I mean, it just got out of, there was a whole post about moments after my filing hit the docket. And so I've got that included in there saying these psychopaths are looking for me in real life. If you leak this stuff, what do you think is going to happen? So, but people get so weird. I describe it as like a tribe. They've limited their life experience to this tiny bubble where they sit there all day long being weird with other people who are being weird just like them, so they don't realize how weird they are, how abnormal this behavior is. I still say she's cosplaying as an attorney, because no attorney has that amount of time and can keep their job. Pretending to have federal court cases. Lady, when are you in court? When do you have time to write a motion? Because you're on Reddit obsessing all day long. And they've done it for so long, and they're surrounded by people who are doing the same thing, that they don't know how weird it is. And I'm not talking about all of the subreddits. I know there's some that are not like, I'm talking about the ones where this lady is doing what she does. So you better believe it's terrifying to see this happening the very week I'm fighting to keep my information private. 5 people, 3 of them women, addresses, phone numbers. It's insane. So then what happens next? So this was Ezra's, after Lauren's letter and my motion hit the docket. She freaked out, and we got this. And this was her trying to put it all on that list that she got from Tag. And so this was everybody starts running with this, saying that we're on this list. Okay. And then where does it go to? Yeah, I had this all recorded, but I can't remember what all I said. I would just wanna get to the main point of how this proceeded through. And then Kevin comes back and he's like, "Nope, nope, nope, and we can show you the list," which I don't think they thought was gonna happen. And then here's where he comes to the court and he's like, "This woman, Miss Barnes Slater, was doxxed." And he says, "We accepted service." He's trying to stop this. They're hiding out. They're getting more and more information, doxing more and more people. We'll accept the service for her. There's no need for her address to remain in the public sphere. Is there someone being is there someone being yeah, get lost. Find Go back to Reddit. Okay. So so he brings this to the court's attention, right? And what would you expect the judge to do? At least mention it. Oh, this is all stuff I was going to say. So here's where they finally come through and they redact, except they leave the thing on, and this is the judge's response. And this makes me so angry. The judge cannot even be bothered to write out a formal order. He finds out yet another person in his court that he's presiding over is doxxed, and he can't even be bothered to write a one-page order and say, "Stop this." This is this is all that we get. He puts a little blue stamp, 4 lines. The motion is granted in part and denied in part. Although redaction of a non-party's address is proper. Doesn't he sound bothered? There's no cause for sealing the entire document. Let's not be crazy here. Why would we do something so crazy? We don't have to do all of that. Lively's directed to refile the document with the address redacted. That's all he says. All of the Wayfair people who've been doxxed have received death threats. Every last one of them. Justin took his whole family out of this continental US for a long time. What happened to Steve Sorowitz's family? His daughter's in college. She gets followed, so they find out where her apartment is, threaten to kidnap her, threaten to kidnap the wife, start a fire on the property. And this is his reaction to another woman being doxxed. For all we know, this woman lives alone. Nobody answered her door after all the times. These 2 women, nobody ever answered the door all the times they were there. The neighbors didn't seem to know much about them. And this is the judge's response. There's no sanctions. There's no discipline. There's no warning. There's no admonition. There's not even a friendly little reminder. They say reduction is proper, but we don't have to go overboard here. And like I said, she refiled. She refiled the document with the proper redactions, but she never took out the original document. So to this day, a week later, almost 8 days, in 16 minutes, it will be 8 days later, it's still there. All of these people's information, 5 people. He
And
does.
she also did that with her own filings too, with the address for the deposition.
Yeah. Thank you,
Like,
John. Please protect yourself also this thank you. Thank
so
you, John.
we've got an unredacted version of an email and then a redacted version, which was filed just 2 days later, and both versions are still on the docket.
Yep. And this is exactly it. If he had taken action when it very first happened, the Heaths and the Wayfarers have little kids. And they were getting death threats, and he did nothing. It's insane. I do not understand what's going on with this court and all of this and his reaction to it. This kind of stuff just makes them more bold. Oh, that's the wrong one. Just makes them more bold for the next time. So I just, it's so upsetting to me. So, like I said, this is why we were so upset. And rightly so. And why this isn't good enough. But what I wanted to say, I looked it up. Where did I put it? For these people, and you know what? I feel like since I have their address, I feel like letting these people, these neighbors who were kind enough to answer questions. So let me tell you guys, if someone's in your neighborhood asking about one of your neighbors, don't respond, because this could happen to you. They could be there trying to serve something, and they'll be tracking all of your information, your height, your weight, your age, the color of your eyes, your name, and your address. So yeah, don't help anybody. If you don't know who it is or why they're there asking about your neighbor, I wouldn't give any information like this. I looked it up. Where did I write it? Oh, I don't have it written here. But doxing is illegal in California. And I looked up the penal code, but I'll have to look it up. I'll make a post about it later. But I feel like that needs to be included, that these attorneys are from California. The case is in New York. That's why they're pro hac vice, because they're not local to New York. Michael Gottlieb is, but the ones doing this, especially Esra, they're from California. She knows that doxing is illegal in her state. And if that's where these documents are being written, because they're not camped out in New York all this time. So if these are coming out of California, these are breaking the law. And I sincerely hope that Miss Barnes Slater and Miss McNeese and all of their neighbors press charges about this. Because this has to stop. And if the judge isn't going to do it, then somebody needs to do it. So, yes, we are far from finished, because this is not okay. This little low effort, deceptive, outright lying, not just deceptive. That makes it sound a little too nice. But these are outright lies. There was no meet and confer with any of us who filed. And I strongly disagree with her being able to make it sound like that. So that for sure is going to be addressed, to say that this is incorrect information and this is not okay. But anyway, I don't want to keep you guys too late. This already went longer than I expected it to, but I thought while I'm on here, I may as well go through the because it's about the doxing, which was the topic. So I wanted to go ahead and go through, instead of finishing editing the one I was putting together. Just went through that, just to let you guys see this is still happening, and the judge's attitude about it. and how bad it sucks. But anyway. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Leanne?
No, just, in full agreement. There was no conversations, and I don't really know what she's referring to. And she said, that our public statements and our motions gave her information, because they clearly said, well, all the information I get. Do you know what? I described my motion as 2 pages of "you cannot get me because I'm not in the same country," and 28 pages of "your client is an asshole." And honestly, that is exactly what I did, right? I could have just summed up and said, "I'm really sorry, UK, Hague Convention, ECHR, human rights, blah blah blah, bye bye." I didn't. I took the opportunity to chapter and verse. This is why the backlash happened. This is why I feel the way I do. Here's my history. And I have nothing to do with this lot over here. So leave me the fuck out of it. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm I'm astonished. And Lauren, has been on stream. You've been on stream. I've been on stream. All of us are sat there and gone, we have not been paid by anyone. We have not been asked to do anything. When myself and Lauren have said, well, yeah, we did actually email with the publicly available email. We made a decision to send an email, say whatever we said, but we got no response. It wasn't asked for. It wasn't invited. It was just, and there's absolutely no way that Blake Lively's side haven't had people do the same thing.
Yeah.
That is not a smear test. Oh my god, what's it mean smear test? Oh my god, it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I haven't been to bed. Oh my god. Right. I'm not going to live that. Lara's going to kill me. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not part of a smear campaign. I'm not even part of a smear test if we're going there. But I don't know what. I can't believe she is manipulating communications again. And it's the people who have not paid for attorneys. And I find that, I can handle my own. Cassidy can too, right? I've no doubt Lauren and Ashley can as well, but that's not the point. It is not fair to do that to people, and as you said about Ashley and, her business reputation and everything, these have knock-on effects. Even me, like, I've been a YouTuber for a few months. I'm doing all right. It's building really quite fast.
Mm-hmm.
Crap like this though brings people to me then go, well, you smeared Blake Lively, and that's not true. Didn't even know who she was before she filed a CRD.
I just want to clear this up, Rachel. I don't know if you noticed, but everything I showed, I redacted it myself. I was bringing it to people's attention that this is still happening, that the attorneys are doing this.
It's
But I
already public.
didn't show anything that was not redacted. I redacted everything. All right. Yeah, so but the public needs to know that this is still happening in the court. This is a huge problem. Rachel is a troll. Yeah. Yeah, I've never had them before. It just tonight I think is the first time. So, I've never had to have mods before because everybody was so nice and normal, but I think it's gonna have to get to that point because it's hard to keep track of it when you're trying to talk and when you're trying to show things. So, but yeah, that raisin eyes cracks me up. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. The bush birds say that too, and oh, that made me laugh so hard. But Yeah, and he's aging like milk since this lawsuit. He's like milk left in the trunk in August. It's you can tell this is taking its toll on him, and that's what he gets. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty late. Well, if to you it's early, Leanne, you gotta get to bed. Hopefully after this, you can now. Sometimes just getting it out, then you can and get mad and then you relax afterwards and you can finally sleep. But yeah, it means I'm doing something right. Yeah. Milk left in the trunk in August, yes. I haven't. I haven't. I saw that she had said something that I really appreciated when this first happened, when the subpoena first hit. She actually came out and spoke out against it, and I was kinda surprised, but I haven't heard if she's kept that. Okay, Nouveau, thank you so much. Is it Nouveau? Nouveau K? Sorry if I said it wrong. So, I can't even begin to imagine for Wayfair. We've had this for, like, 2 weeks, and it's been awful, and we haven't had the accusations put against us anything like what Justin and Jamie had. I can't even imagine and how long it's been going on. Starting with her strong-arming them through the filming of this movie. Now we've seen her in action. So, I just I can't even imagine. But, Leanne, are you still there? Did we lose you? Did we
Yeah,
lose
sorry.
you are?
I pressed the wrong button and I ended up kicking myself out.
Yeah, I'm like, "Wait a minute, she looks faded on here. Why is it" Okay. Okay, guys,
Yeah,
we're
thank
gonna
you.
call it a night. Thank you so much for coming out to support us. We really needed that. I didn't think I was gonna go live tonight because like I said, I needed a day to process it, but when when Leanne and I both noticed that, I'm like, "No, I gotta get this out or I'm gonna fume all night." So, I feel like I got she fell asleep. Leanne finally fell asleep. So so thank you. Your writing was powerful and persuasive. They didn't want the judge to read it. I wonder if there's a way for you to get the judge to read your words. I think he did. I think he did read mine because when he said that it was accepted by the court, he said which pages he would take as the motion and which pages he would take as the memorandum or something like that, he said. So he at least skimmed it. I doubt he studied it, but he was through it enough to know what pages were what. So hopefully I would think curiosity you would wanna know for all of them. But yeah, but we get another chance now because we get to address this and talk about, protective orders and sanctions and all of those good things. So
And file a complaint with the bar.
oh, absolutely, and now they get multiple. We were gonna all go in on one, but now I think we all need to do it separately so that there's more. And now we have more information to add.
Yeah.
This is a straight up lie on this filing. But have a wonderful rest of the weekend, everybody. And I don't think I'll be on tomorrow, but maybe Monday, depending on what happens on Monday. I might be back then. So, good night, Leanne,
Oh, good night. Thank you so much.
and good night, everybody.